Okay, so namaste. So today we are here on the day 9 for a Kriya. Finally, why Kriya and action? Kriya means what? Act. Now your act. Now we will learn today how our act is coming out of our true will. And we have learned true will, a difference in between an impulse and a true in the day 7 or 6, I don't remember, right? So our act, how our act is becoming, or how our act is coming out of true will and a resilient decision making. Then how your act will be. Your act will be, without confusion, without fear, without distraction, without noise. That is actually a true act. That will create your destiny. Right? So today we are going to learn Kriya Shakti, the power to act with inner clarity. Because since the day one, we are working on what? We are working on the clarity. Because clarity you can learn from any gadget, you cannot learn from anywhere. Clarity comes within your heart with the inner wisdom. And when you practice your breathing, every day I just repeat beta, and it is not a cliche, it is a lifestyle. I will have to guide you every day that you have to practice your these breathing. These are 5 rounds of each, 5 rounds of a brahmari amar pranayama, and the 5 of a power pod. You will have to flow your prana to your power pod, and the 5 rounds to your the to your heart and to your throat and to your mind side, because it gives you clarity naturally, because it gives you calmness, mindfulness. And when you are calm, when you are mindful, clarity comes, by default it comes, right? So what is Kriya Shakti? Let's understand. Kriya Shakti is not just a power to do. It is not just a power to do, but it is the power to do the act with the righteousness. Means to do the act right, true and real. And it is not out of sudden. Directly, if we start learning how to act right, how to act real, you can't. You will be faking it. And it will, maybe you can impress for a moment somebody, but the next day it will fade it out. I hope you understand my point. It is a lifestyle. With a breathing, every day 10 minutes breathing, you learn your mindfulness. Then, before doing anything, you are taking a pause and you learn a difference in between your impulse and your true will. You know how to make decision, and you know how to just dissolve your fear with the Gyana, so that you are knowing that your decision is not out of fear. When your decision is a true decision, only that you know that you have taken a or made a resilient decision. Then your act will be true, then it will be real, then it will be without noise. Then your act will be not a react the fast reaction. It will be a responding with awareness. So it's everyday's practice. It is a lifestyle. The way you breathe, the way you eat. Lifestyle is what? How you walk, how you talk, how you sit, how you wear. This is the way. How you think, how you make decisions, how you observe your breathe, how how you are just making yourself poised. So Kriya Shakti, what I have told, it means Kriya Shakti does not, out of sudden it doesn't pop up. Out of sudden you cannot act real. Kriya Shakti comes after or arises after Aicha. When your will is born within, when there is a will born inside you, then you start making a clarity, whether is it impulse or whether it is true. Then you make your decision. When you stand by your choice, not escape from it. Why we are not escaping from it? Because we have learned the Gyana when it was needed and understand and matters. And then only your action becomes without confusions, without distractions, without fear, and without distraction. It becomes a Shuddha Kriya, which is a pure, purposeful, and fearless. I need not to tell you why it matters, I think. Shall I? Okay. Because you know that you are surrounded by act in haste. You have no time, you are always in hurry. You copy others in this trendy time. You avoid discomfort. You always choose comfort. You seek approvals over truth. That is why it matters to learn. Because when you learn Kriya Shakti, it teaches you act from clarity, not pressure. Follow through with steadiness, and you just take responsibility for your choices. You cannot blame others. You do what is right, and even when nobody is watching. Because when will, decision, and wisdom align, action becomes divine. How beautiful it is. Because when will, decision, and wisdom align, action become divine. And how it will help in future in this, the age of artificial intelligence, this AI powered world, machines may do faster, but they do not decide with the righteousness. That you will have to choose this. With the Kriya Shakti, you begin with courage. You continue with discipline. You correct with honesty. You lead with integrity. So the success is not doing more, it is doing what matters. That leads you towards the success. With your whole being, with a quiet mind. So before I jump into the story, let me show you the card. Just look at it. This is the general prompt. You just I hope you understand my point. So you can imagine yourself in that way, right? So this is actually success. किस तरह से आप path को, how you can lead the path of a success when you act in that way. Now let me narrate a story about Ishan, path to purpose, and the bridge of action. The bridge of action does not come out of sudden. How it works, let's, and we will be, through the story we will be revising the HR decision making and Gyana and all. So Ishan was a 15-year-old boy who loved robotics. You may love robotics, a number of the children, they love robotics. His notebooks were full of sketches, machine that could move, sensors clean, but one dream lived deep inside him. His notebooks were full of sketches, machines that could move, sense, and clean, but one dream lived deep inside him, to build a robot that could clean rivers without harming fish, plants, and flow. He would think about it often and then say to himself, I want to, but I don't know where to begin. What if it doesn't work? Maybe later, when I'm more ready. The dream stayed a dream until the day he began the spiritual intelligence course. What is that? That is the, as you have learned, he also learned the day six Ichha Shakti, and this is, you can relay. I have just, I can say, tempered or means I have molded the story. This is actually a kind of a true story, but I have molded with, because we cannot, detail or describe the somebody's real story. So here come back to the Ishan. So day 6, he learned in the spiritual intelligence course the Ichha Shakti, the power of true will, as you have learned. So in this session on the Ichha Shakti, Ishan learned to pause and ask, do I really want this? Or is it just a passing thought? He was working on his Ichha. So in that moment, he knew that this is not just an interest, this is my will, this is my sankalpa, this is my offering. He saw clearly because it was staying with him since long. It was not sudden, it was not shouting, it was not loud, right? It was growing. So he saw clearly. This was not about marks or applause. It was just about the seva, and my ichha is real. He recognized it. Then the day 8, he learned in the Gyana Shakti and decision making. When he went through this session in the spiritual intelligence course, then he learned in the day 8 doubt. He had some doubts. He thought that what if I fails? What if I fail? Sorry. Or what if it fails? Means that project. What if I have never built something like this? What if people laugh? But now he did not run out of fear. He sat it. His teacher had shared, before you decide, ask if your fear is even true. Ask what your wise self you to do. So he did, and he realized that fear was not the problem, even not the learning was. If learning was the fear, he could have learned. But he recognized that he did not wait to feel bold. He made a decision not to delay, not to escape, but to start learning what he did not know. And this was his Gyana Shakti in action, the strength to make a choice guided by clarity and courage. Then the day 9, as you have today, this is the Kriya Shakti. He went through this. He attended the session of a Kriya Shakti. The rightful act, how the rightful act comes through, how he can resonate the journey of a Kriya Shakti with the righteousness. Because he went through all the Ichha Shakti and the decision making. Then on day 9, this spoke of a Kriya Shakti who the spiritual intelligence course mentor to him. He learned not just doing, not just rushing, but acting with Ichha and Jnana come together like two wings allowing the soul to move. His teacher said, when your will is true and your decision is clear, your action becomes powerful. Your action becomes powerful, not noisy, but necessary. Your action becomes powerful, not noisy, but necessary. You understand? That evening, something shifted. Ishan sat down with old tools and scrap materials. He sketched, built, and coded a basic prototype. You know what is this? He tested it in water bucket. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. That night he wrote in his journal, I'm no longer waiting to be ready. I'm becoming ready by doing. I'm becoming ready by doing. I'm no longer waiting to be ready. I'm becoming ready by doing. My action is not for applause. It is the fulfillment of my will. And when you perform your action in this way, the world applauds to you, not only few friends and family. Trust me. Trust yourself, not trust me. Trust yourself. Then he got the shift. What was the shift? Because over the months, Ishan commitment grew, not from force but from joy. Because his ichha gave him a direction, his decision gave him a discipline, and his jnana gave him a focus. And so the Kriya Shakti flowed calm, consistent, and clean. He was 13 at that time when he started. And by the age of 16, he submitted his innovation, a youth ecotech challenge. By 17, he began monitoring younger children, not just in robotics, but in how to act with purpose. It's not about robotics, it's about how to do your act with purpose in the age of artificial intelligence, Ishan did not try to race against machines. He did what machines cannot do. He did what machines cannot do. He dreamed from his soul. He understood his path and he acted from a silence that was strong. And that is Kriya Shakti, where action is not noise but a song born from the true will and resilient decision making and inner wisdom. What we are learning from the day one till now, and will be continuing learning this. What you understood, what you have understood. Okay, show me your cue card here. Have you learned something from the Ishan story? It's quite relatable. Yes or no? Huh? Okay. So where is the cue card? Here is a cue card for your practice. Yes. When your action will be true, ask yourself, write down. Inspired by the Shan Bridge of Purpose. Bridge of Purpose. Before you act, do you ask, is this my true picture? Write down on something which stayed longer with you, stayed longer, since long you wanted to do something. Write down and ask yourself, is this your true Icha? You know how to make it. Have I made a resilient decision? What is a resilient decision? Write down, make a note on it, make a video on it, teach other people. Resilient decision when it is out of fear. And in a confusion, you just did kumbhaka and you make that decision from your conscience. And how you could make the kumbhaka, because you are already in the practicing of breathing. You are not a beginner. You know how to flow your prana. You know how to breathe to your power pot. You know how to breathe to your tailbone, to your heart, to your throat, to your mind's eye. That already is, just providing you. That is already, just empowering you with the strength, with the mindfulness, with the calmness, with the resilience. Out of these attributes in your character, out of these already, that calm, mindful character, you are able to know the difference in between your true will and a impulse will. And then you know how to make a decision making. Are you learning everything, all these things? No. This is in your practice. Need to learn how to eat. Take a bite, then put it in your mouth, then swallow, then chew, then swallow. Do you learn every day? No. It is by default. Similarly, this is how to act mindfully. This is an everyday lifestyle. You do not learn it. You do it by default because you know how to make a choice. Because every moment you are practicing it, right? So you have to understand from this that, do I understand what I need to learn? How you will understand that you need to learn? Because first you will have to make a list of your fears. Already we have learned. You start learning skills on it. Some may be out. You know that I need to just collect a courage. No, I can do it. You know already. But some you need to collect skills learning, like Myra. I narrated the story yesterday. Right? Now let me show you some detailed cue card to you. Here it is. Don't you feel this important question? You are loaded with the informations every day. You learn lot of things from your outer world. Why don't you learn from within? Talk to yourself. Give some time to yourself. That will help you in your entire life, the whole life, in your career, in your further studies, relationships, everywhere. Everywhere. Talk to yourself, my dear children. Make you act righteous. Okay, so now here is something for the parents too, if the parents are there. Let me read. Yes. So, observe your child. You will have to observe your child. And has your child ever expressed a deep wish or idea to you, something, or you felt it is vague, or but your child himself hesitated to act on it? Talk to yourself. How do they usually respond when things feel big or uncertain? How they usually respond? Avoid or delay? Do they avoid? Do they gather help or resources? Do they try a little and give, or just they just give up? And or do they reflect then act? Can you recall any moment when your child made a clear decision and followed through with small effort? Can you think if your child is making decision in that way and acting in that way, what you are bringing, just what you are making? Are you making, just preparing him for the future? Or are you building his foundations for the future? This is actually the brought up. When you're growing, when you can see your child is growing in that way, you just support their Kriya Shakti. You just understand, just ask yourself, what do you truly want to do? What's the one small step you can take today? Do you want help learning how to do it? You just remind them. You don't need to be perfect, just real, ready, and unwilling to cry. My dear parents, we need your support because without you, it is not possible. I hope you understand my point. So, this is actually all about the Kriya because it is followed by the HR decision making, how to make decision, whether our decision is resilient or not. We will learn it from the Gyana Shakti. And it is because now you are enrolled in the course. So every day I'm just teaching you something and I'm making you learn. But once you will learn them, these are not the everyday learning something. This is the everyday practice in your action, in your speaking, in your thinking. We are here to make it your lifestyle in the age of artificial intelligence and out of noise. Okay, now let me show you your worksheet. Your worksheet is here, which I'm going to share in the group as usual. We do. So you will have to lining these three powers. You will have to write today that think of your one thing you been wanting to do, but you haven't started yet. Like what is that I truly want to do? What is the important to me? And what is the first small action I can take today? This is all aligning with the Icha, Gyana, and Kriya. So you will have to write them, right? And you know that not out of impulse, out of truth. You will have to just talk to yourself. Inner dialogue. Inner dialogue means you will have to talk to yourself. Then write down a moment when you wanted to take action but stopped. When you wanted to take an action but stopped. What did your inner voice say at that time? And what could your wiser voice have said instead? And write down what I said to myself, what I said to my what my wise choice could say. Then do the tracker. Each time you have taken that a kind of a small step, then put a right action one step. What was action step two, action step three, action step four, action step five? Then your intention will be sankalp. I take a small, clear sacred steps with courage and joy. That is your worksheet. We are going to share this in the group. You think and you feel like every day you do a lot of tasks. Now you have enrolled, I have told you, if you will be if you will be skipping these classes and skipping these worksheets, I'm telling you, you will get hurdles in everything. Unless you know how to regulate your emotions, unless you know how to regulate your breath, unless you know how to understand the difference in between a true will and an impulse will, unless you recognize your fear, unless you know how to make a resilient decision, everywhere, everything will bother you, will hold you back. Just a lifestyle. Every day, 10 minutes, 5 rounds of each. Flow prana. And what we have done, we have learned all these pranas in a 6 days. But in 10 minutes, you will have to sit on a sukhasana and sit like a mountain or a tree. And you will have to start flowing your prana. 1 round of each, the power pod. Done, then here, then here, then here, then this, then Amar Pranayama. Every day you can see the change. Even now, you know that how you are changed. Okay, today what you do? You just write a testimonial because now today is a day 9. And how are you feeling after these 9 days? I'm damn sure there is a, I can say, the transformative change you can see in your character building. You are more calm now. I'm damn sure. If you are practicing, but if you are not practicing, so without doing 10 minutes practice of the breath, on the breath, you cannot come to this theme. You cannot come on your righteous act and the true act and a mindful or a purposeful act. You can't. This is actually the course. You cannot come on the day 10 without completing your day 9. That is why we are giving you this a 1 year subscription. That is why when you miss a class, then go with that. If you are here, now you are here on the day 9, but if you are not done with the day 8 and a 7, this is the, this everything will go in vain. If you are not done with the day 9, I'm telling you, day 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, do not come to the other class. Do not come, do not switch on for the day 10. Everything would be worthless. You will start criticizing what is all this rubbish. And if you are practicing from day 1 till now, you will be saying this is blessings. So practice 10 minutes your breathing, all 6 practices, 5 rounds to each. It will take hardly 10 minutes. Before taking any action, eating, sleeping, whatever you are doing, when you are going to speak, take a pause. Then take your action. You must know how to make decision. Every time, whenever you are confused, in a day you are confused approximately 10 times. Go and do your kumka in a minute, in few seconds. Anta kumka. Inhale, hold your breath, count. Another option, inhale, count your breath. Sorry, hold and count, not breathe. Count, breathe. Do not count, breathe. Inhale, hold, and count. Which is longer? This is your decision because it comes from your conscience. It is yours, right? Then fear, recognize, then work on it. Then the kriya is done. So tomorrow we will do the integration of all, and all together we will understand how it works. So do your worksheet and share it in the group. Again, the Margdarshika will help you, or if you need any assistance, you can just directly message me. Thank you. Namaste. See you tomorrow.